So let's talk about that other group of people who were not ready for this. These are the people who on a week-to-week, month-to-month basis, it's already tight, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
So they may have a payday coming up that, I don't know where this preparation stuff is gonna come into, or emergency fund or anything else, because I'm right on the wire every week, every time I get paid, every month, whatever it is. So how do I now kind of dig myself out of this hole? Like, when this crisis passes, like, what do I need to do differently if I'm already on the edge?
Great question. So you find that a lot of persons this is a defining moment in their life. All right. You're going to either become very resilient, or you can be very withdrawn in this moment. I want to encourage everyone that there's hope, that you can come out of this situation. There are several things that you need to look at. Yes, the resources in regards to money may be tight, but there are other resources that you have. For example, time and also relationships. So in this type of time, you need to kind of look at some of the relationships that can kind of step in at this moment. There might be family members and friends who can help tie you over with resources. Because with such panic spending, I'm sure that there are a number of persons who kind of got more than enough resources in certain areas, and they have no problem sharing at this time. In addition to that, you also have to take into consideration, now that you know where you financially stand, now that you know where your income source is or what's like now, it's the best time to kind of look at potential income. There are a number of persons who are working within this time, and there are a number of persons who are actually getting hired within this period of time, believe it or not.
Yes, it's true. It's true.
So you might need to do some interviews. There are persons who are working from home. There's a number of things you can do. And even if you don't have that opportunity, there's a number of needs of persons who are working, who are willing to pay for essential services like deliveries. Of some extent. So you can be creative. Use and tap into the capacity, the talent, the ability that you have, and use that to generate money within this period of time. The mind is very interesting. Whatever you focus on, it begins to create options for you. So if you focus on despair, then of course you'll be overwhelmed. But if you focus on the opportunities around you, what can you do? Who has a need? Where can you gather resources? Who can help you in this time? Who can take you in? For some persons, they might be to the end of their, I guess, when it comes down to their landlord or their renters, they might be to the end where they have to make a payment, but their salary is cut. So now we have to look at some relationships. Okay, I can probably stay with so-and-so within this period of time, and then once I'm able to get past this period of time, then I can now transition in doing A, B, C, a number of things. So these are some of the things you have to look at. In addition to that, the government has made certain things available as well. So for example, at social services, they have their food program. Now, let me say this. A lot of persons think that finances is external. It is not only external, but it's also internal. So there are persons for the first time in their life having to be a part of the food program that they have not accepted their reality. This is only temporary. So the best advice I would give them, this does not define you. What you do in this period of time will define you. Okay? So being on the lunch program for a period of time doesn't really define whether you'll be successful or failure in life.
People get proud and people get ashamed.
We are a proud group of people, especially us coming from the Caribbean. But that doesn't mean that you failed in life. In addition to that, some persons for the first time will be patronizing some of the resources made by NIB.
Like the unemployment benefit for temporary layoffs. But that doesn't mean that you have failed in life as well. All right? This is only for a temporary means. And there will be an end. But in the end, you will find yourself probably even in better circumstances, in a better job, or another stream of income. We're very big on side hustles here in this country. It's a must. Or even a new business. So we don't know. Only one can define or decide what that is for you. But I'm just saying that we need to patronize some of these options that the government has made available. In addition to that, some persons are connected to social groups or civic groups or religious groups. Some churches have made themselves available to assist their congregants. There are some social groupings
have made themselves available to assist their sorority sisters or their fraternity brothers. And so we need to tap into all of these resources, especially those who are in need.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that we will weather the storm together.
Absolutely. I think you're right. It's a community, and we have to realize that it's okay to ask for help once in a while.
Yeah.
You know, that there's no shame in it.
No, there's no shame.
You know, and that there are more resources than you probably realize.
You'll be surprised.
Right in your life. I mean, one mantra that I always use is that everything you need is already in your life.
You are right. It's ready in your life. It's ready in your environment. You'll be surprised how your friends and family are just in arm's length waiting to embrace you.
Yeah.
Waiting to embrace you.
So people are using the social distancing, all this spare time that they now have to kind of dust off old projects and rethink things. And so I think this would probably be the perfect time for people to revisit their financial goals and their financial habits. Now, I know that some of the things that you talk about with your programs is the underlying beliefs that we have about money and finances and wealth. You know, we don't want people to get into this mindset of hoarding, like, you know, well, you never know when something like this may happen again, and then we become mean, like we don't want to share, like there's not enough. And then we want to uncover, like, what are those things that caused me to get into this situation in the first place? And so how can we use this time to dig into those underlying beliefs and create new money habits?
Oh, I so agree with you. I love being with you, you know. Like I said, you know, most persons think financials or dealing with your personal finances is external. Okay, you take this money path and you will produce wealth. Hold on, before you even get into all of that, let's look at the beliefs. Let's look at the behaviors. Because believe it or not, what is preventing us to come into true levels of success in regards to our money is our upbringing. What was passed on at that stage or that time.
Mommy was the saver, the spender?
Mommy was a saver, daddy was a spender, or vice versa.
My family was exactly like that.
Yeah.
Mommy was the saver and daddy was the spender. And I have my siblings. We have two of us, the savers, two of us the spender. Unfortunately, I was one of the spenders, but anyway.
And so we have to have that type of conversation. We have to talk about that because, like, for example, like you mentioned, you know, if daddy was the spender, mommy was the saver, you know what happens in society when you're labeled as one of them? So let's take the saver, for example. The saver in a lot of people's mind, we would say, oh, that's good because now they should have resources. But in our society, we look at them as stingy.
Yes, and mean.
And boring.
Yes.
They don't do nothing in life.
Yes.
And then vice versa, the spender, you know, they don't get off free either. You know, the spender in a lot of people's minds, the squanderer.
You know, when it came to my mind.
They don't have nothing.
No.
You know what I mean?
He was asking the saver for money.
And always want to borrow from somebody. You know what I mean? But they are the ones who live life, who enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
And so you need a combination of both.
You do.
You do. So, you know, but at the same time, we need to address some of the underlying issues in our lives. You know, there are some persons who believe that, hey, the only way to coming into great levels of wealth is going to come through education. And once you get this degree here and you get this certification over there, and then you'll be employable, and then, you know, they can't take it from your mind. But then you go on the job 9 to 5, and then you end up still being broke.
Yes.
Because there's a whole nother need that they did not mention or even address, which is financial literacy.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I would like for persons, and what we normally do in our sessions, and first just coming out of the gate, we look at financial psychology. Let's talk about your dreams and goals. Let's talk about your values. Now, let's also talk about some of the mindsets that you have that prevent you from doing certain things. A lot of people don't know that they suffer from procrastination. And they don't even know where that's coming from. It's coming from a money mindset.
Wow.
That was passed on when you were a child.
Fear. I find that it usually is an underlying fear about money or losing money. Like it's a poverty mentality.
Yes.
Like I didn't have it, so I need to just get as much as I can. And if I let it go, it is all going to go away.
You are absolutely
and I'm going to be
right.
poor again.
You are absolutely right. And then let me tell you what gets interesting. Be married to somebody with that mentality.
Man. on.
So you can't, their behavior is almost like it's irrational. You can't even explain it. Yeah. But you're right. They're fighting against falling back into the trap of their childhood.
Of having to share one piece of chicken with.
We didn't have it, so we need to fight.
Yes.
Or vice versa, where you might have a situation where a family, for the most part, they undervalued everything in life. They didn't aspire for anything in life.
Yes.
Because they knew that no one in the family amounted to anything in life.
Right. So why are you trying to be more?
Trying? And if you try, look at you. What you trying to say about yourself? So you have to look at all of these dynamics.
Yeah. And then now I don't want to quote unquote get rich or have more than the people around me because I don't want that criticism.
Or I don't want to leave my comfort zone because a lot of people I would be leaving behind.
Correct. And I don't know how to handle that.
I don't know. Yeah.
And I don't want to lose my connection.
I don't want to lose my
personal space, my circle.
You're right.
You know, I don't want to lose friends. I don't want to lose family.
You're absolutely right.
So let me just stay where I am.
And that's what a lot of persons are fighting. Yeah. This is why they can't go to the next level. Like I said, let's put aside the path. Let's put aside investing in real estate, investing in stocks, investing in buying a company. Let's put that aside. Let's deal with this underlying issue first, so that you're now prepared to wholeheartedly embrace now all of the things that you're going to need to do. Because time is a currency. But you're not going to utilize your time until you conquer some of these mindsets or these mental barriers that you have.
I think there's another mindset too. Like, I think that, I don't know if it's a spender mindset, where you feel like, you know, the saver will take, and financial experts like you will always say that if you take a little over time will add up to a lot. But I find that there, especially in our cultures, that people want the get rich quick thing. They want the big money, like the lump sum. And if I can't see that big money, then it ain't making no sense. So why put aside that $10, $15, $50 when I can have $1,000? So if I don't have $1,000, then I might as well just spend this $50.
You have to remember
because it still makes sense saving this anyway.
You're right. You have to remember now, we're in an era where everything around us is almost instant. We receive messages instant, news instant. We want our food to be warm, we press a button, instant. You want to watch a certain program, on demand, it's instant. And so we assume that our return on investment should be instant. As well, you know what I mean? But life doesn't work that way. Life doesn't work that way.
No.
You're not 9 times out of 10 going to be in a situation where you invest very, very little and you're going to get this huge return. And even if you did, let's just say this chance that you did get this huge return,
it
will be tested.
Yes.
When you look at the amount of persons who would have gotten a big windfall, a large percentage of them throughout various different countries lose all of that within less than a year.
Wow. Yeah.
Because the habits that you have will cause you to obtain it, will be the same habits will cause you to lose it even faster. Believe it or not. So, I mean, let's look at certain groups of persons. I just was having a conversation with a friend of mine the other day in regards to those who are in professional sports. Think about it. We have a few of our Bahamian athletes that transcended into some professional leagues. But could you believe the fact that many of them never really worked a summer job? They spend most of their time developing their craft, right? So at the age of 18, 16, 17, 18, they're going off to school. They spend 1 year before they get drafted into these professional leagues, right? Never opened a bank account in their life.
Wow.
Their signing bonus is probably more than $1 million.
Yes.
And you wonder why so many in these professional leagues, after they retire, 5 years after they retire, they're broke.
Yeah, because what's driving the money habits? You know, and I've spoken to someone too who has amassed wealth and who you know, went to nothing and built a company and now is wealthy, right? But he said that, you know, that you go through this phase of, I need to be flashy with my money, right? I need to make big flashy purchases, cars and clothes and make trips, you know. Oh, I think I'll just fly to Miami and you know, you're the one that buys rounds for everybody, or you buying for everybody. And then at the end of the day, you're like, okay, now what is this about? You know, like I'm empty still.
and you find a lot of persons when they climb this ladder of these various different wealth paths, they find themselves being empty at the end of the day. Was it worth it?
Was it worth it? That I was the life of the party and I go home by myself and I'm like, okay, what? Now I'm out 20 grand in this one night, and what do I have to show for it?